Yeah, watch this. I don't even be able to see it. Hold on. I'll send it. What am I doing now? I'll send it.
Why did I start trying to look?
So we met how many years ago? 3?
3 almost to the day.
3 almost to the day.
In a rehearsal room in Telford.
Yeah, through a mutual friend. We hit it off pretty much straight away, didn't we?
In the group chat.
Yeah. Third wheeling he was. Third wheeling.
I'd love to see those messages again. I don't really know what happened, mate, to be honest. We were doing quite well. Like, I'm talking back years now, but we were doing quite well, and then we kind of went our separate ways for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, I think
other stuff.
I've got no idea what happened, but we kind of played together for a while. It was going well. I think life just happened. Things happened, and then
there's a lot going on at the time.
Yeah, and then we just it was lockdown, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. It came out of nowhere for me, mate. I mean, I was sending these demos up to you, or down to you, and just what do you think of these kind of thing? Is this worth? Because you get so in lockdown, you got so encapsulated inside your own head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just sending these up to you and saying what do you reckon of this? Do you reckon it's worth working on or knocking on the head? Well, I was working on at the time it was called The Piano Song.
Yeah.
For a few months, to be honest, because I had that beginning bit. Dun, 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 dun. I had that bit, and I really liked it because it reminded me of 90s bubblegum pop because it had a bit of a bounce to it.
Had a hook.
So
had a hook straight away.
Yeah. So I wrote that up into a song and banged it up to you. Drums, bass, everything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like. I just really wanted to play because I miss playing. And it sounds awful, but I would have played to anything. But you sent me that guitar track, and then got really into it. And then it just kept snowballing, really.
Yeah, massively. Massively.
But what I quite liked about that was there was no rules. We weren't in a practice room, kind of we got 2 hours to kind of bang something out. We were each in our homes, sort of thing. You were across the country. We were able to send each other stuff and take as long as we need on each other's stuff. It just worked well.
There's no pressure there, was there? What I liked about it was I wrote the whole song. Well, I demoed the whole song, so it was all kind of banged together. And then I sent you that the kind of package, if you like, the demo package. And then you're like, "Can you send me it without drums on, please?" Yeah, sound. So you stripped it off and put your drum track on, and then it's literally it gave it the energy it's got now, really, I suppose.
Yeah. What from the start, you've always done it as well, is usually if someone has an idea, you'll get 30, 45 seconds worth of stuff. But your idea is a 4.5, 5 minute track. The whole thing's there.
I think it was fairly obvious from day one that there was something kind of special going on between us as a rhythm section initially. And we both kind of clicked into it. I don't know whether we've had similar musical experiences when we were kids or something, or whatever it was, but we did kind of click. And then obviously we tried to be a two-piece a good few years ago, and I think because it was summer, we were drinking a lot, going out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
100%. Yeah. So we might have been trying too hard almost then, We might have been like, we got to start a band sort of thing. Whereas this time we were just sending each other stuff. Have a play with this, see how far you go.
Yeah.
And also, I think like in terms of us playing together, I think it helps a lot that you are / were a bassist, because the rhythm part of it is probably the biggest. Well, the most important part of a two-piece is the rhythm, because that's primarily what you're going to get.
And obviously, we play together for hours and hours and hours as exclusively as a rhythm section as well. So on top of us clicking, we'd also practice it for on and off for a year and a half. Yeah. So we knew how we worked, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think at this stage now, I think part of that conversation with Sam when we were discussing, are we going to get a bass player or are we not going to bother? Because we toyed with the idea for a long time, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think adding someone else into the mix now would disrupt things almost. It'd be a lot of comfort having, a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. Kind of feed off the anxiety a little bit of not having
a safety blanket. Yeah. I think anyone that's been in the band, like we're not 18, 19, there's no secret. We've both been in bands and played for years, really. Like, as much as it's very much built on friendship and everything like that, you can easily, like, it just, when you've got something good going, introducing something else into it, even if it slows the process down by like a couple of days or whatever, it's just a knock-on effect, isn't it? And it's, if you've got something good going, why if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
You're still in your momentum slightly, aren't you? And the good thing about us, we move quickly, we write quite quickly. When we hit the rehearsal room now, we're like, bang, we're in, we set up, and we know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we've got that momentum going now, and for the sake of investing in some more gear or whatever it takes to fill out that sonic space.
Yeah.
I'd rather take that hit than.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, if we can, then we should. That's basically it.
I think it's a good bookmark for what's going on. I think although what I said earlier about small fleeting moments, it is based on a small fleeting moment, but it's one that kind of comes back round every now and then. I think I wanted to start with something like quite energetic. Because if you start with a soft song, I think you can only go. That's like your ceiling.
Yeah. So
I wanted to go in hot, basically.
Yeah.
And then we can always come down and then come back up to it if you wanted to. And
yeah.
I just feel like if you're starting with a softer, well thought out kind of almost ballady kind of song.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a ballad, but it's not. For us, it's quite ballady.
Yeah. It's like, consider this. It's a very instant song. Like, everything.
Yeah, it's a quick fix almost, isn't it?
Yeah, you're hitting the face straight away, really, and it's quite an obvious single, I think.
It's the fast pace, and it's the break in the middle as well that kind of says, like, look, we're here.
Yeah. And I think when we jam, we start the set with it, and it just feels like it should be first. And then with All You Do, it's last. So, like, kind of subconsciously told us, I think.
Yeah. They're good bookends for our set list.
Yeah. It's a blueprint of what we're about, I think. It showcases us.
I mean, for us right now, if we had one song that right now, our bookmark from right now, if we had one song, consider this would cover all bases.
We don't want to fall into that classic two-piece sort of. We are open to, like, having like soundscapes in there and like just adding a bit of flavour here and there. We don't want to just.
Yeah.
We're not strictly guitar and drums, and we still want to be creative. We still want to like be able to push the music as make the best song we can, regardless of what's going on with it. But obviously keeping it within realistic playing live terms.
At its core, obviously we are a two-piece. No bass was used in the studio at all. Like, it was just guitars and drums as a foundation, with like obviously vocals layered on top. But we're not going to be shying away from using things like keys and synths and extra bits of percussion and bits here and there. But if you wanted to, you could stick us in a room with an acoustic guitar and a basic drum kit, and we could play exactly the same songs with the same sort of feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the skeletons of the tracks are still drums and guitar. But this is where we kind of have to mention Sam at Stoke, Lower Lane Studios.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolute trooper. What a man.
We demoed these 2 tracks that we recorded, and we spent a lot of time on them for demos. Like, we pretty much nailed them as much as we could, and we tried effects and stuff like that.
Threw a shit at the wall.
They even had bass on them, and like as soon as we got there, 10 minutes of being there and setting up the drums and what have you, he asked us the question. The first thing he asked us really was, "Are you going to do bass?" Yeah. And we were like, well, we came with the intention of doing bass, but then he basically said, like, start as you mean to go on. If it's not going to be on stage, then you might as well just leave it off and try and get away with it, without it. So.
But it worked, and it kind of, I don't know if it affected your playing at all. Maybe we could go into that in a minute. But as far as me setting stuff up, I'd always kind of set up going through like a lower endy bassy kind of thing anyway, but it was bouncing completely off what I was playing on guitar. So me and Sam spent some time, routing the guitar signal through different sort of like effects boxes and stuff like that, these kinds of things. And then sort of messing around with all the frequencies and all the EQ and stuff to get it sounded like full, like in the spectrum kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you didn't miss it basically, and we sound like, I think so anyway, we sound like 2 people just bashing away our instruments.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And the synth sounds are like, it surprised us when we listened to them back, just the synth tracks and the keys, how little they're actually doing, but how much of an effect it has.
I was so shocked when you sent me those, when Sam sent those tracks across. So shocked. Yeah. That's actually us like playing,
It's like 3 notes held down on like just a synth pad. But with everything else going on, the double track guitars and the big drums and the vocals and stuff like that, it's just, you wouldn't want anything else in the mix. You wouldn't, because it'd just be too much. Just these subtle little things.
So the countdown's begun.
Yeah. We're going to build up to the 26th when we're releasing Consider This everywhere. There'll be a little lyric video to go with it on the day. And obviously, as soon as we can, we're going to fucking play everywhere, aren't we?
Yes. What are we releasing on? Spotify, Google Music.
Google, Amazon, Deezer. It's just stuff I didn't know existed. There's just a massive list. It's going everywhere.
YouTube.
Obviously YouTube, yeah. Facebook. YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. They're the big 2. We're on YouTube. We're on Bandcamp. It'll all be there. So yeah, I think the idea of doing this was, no one's basically heard of us. We're a new band. We've been going for over a year, but we're going to come out of the blue, out of lockdown. Just give you a flavour of what we're about.
A little taste,
yeah. That's it.
Consider This is out on the 26th of Feb everywhere.
See ya.